Welcome to the Scalable Marketing Machine podcast, where serious founders like you learn how to stop guessing and start growing with marketing that actually moves the needle. I'm your host, Victoria Hajar, fractional CMO, strategist, and founder of Ugly Ventures, where we provide growing businesses with the marketing leadership they need or help up-level the team they already have. Every week, we'll break down real-world strategies for building marketing operations that scale, leading high-performing teams, and aligning your brand and growth plan with your business goals. Because marketing should fuel your business, not frustrate it. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Scalable Marketing Machine podcast. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes into one of our mastermind sessions inside the Scalable Marketing Machine Accelerator, our 12-month program designed to up-level your existing marketing team. Inside the accelerator, we give your marketers the tools, coaching, and guidance they need to build and lead an ROI-driven marketing team. In this episode, I'm joined by Gabby de Avila for a deep dive on LinkedIn 101. If you've been dabbling on LinkedIn but are ready to get serious about making your content perform, expanding your reach, and growing real connections with prospects, this conversation is for you. So grab that notebook because you're going to walk away with some actionable strategies you can put to work right away. Let's dive in. Today, we have Gabby that's going to be presenting to us about her three-part system for LinkedIn. And as I was saying, Gabby and I met over LinkedIn, and has been following all of her content that just performs so incredibly well. And the way that she engaged and reached out to me, it was just so lovely and so genuine and such a great example of how you can make real connections and really build a network with LinkedIn, that it's not just transactional. And so I'm really excited for her to share a little bit of her systems and behind the scene with us today, and come with all your questions about LinkedIn. But she's going to go through her three-part system with us and give us some really good, juicy training. So Gabby, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, let you kind of introduce your agency a little bit more, a little bit about you, and then go ahead and start teaching.
So first of all, I want to thank you for having me today. It's really a pleasure to introduce myself for you guys. I'm Gabby. I'm founder of Gabby Agency. I help founders and experts to show on LinkedIn in the way that actually works for business. Today, I will walk you through the three-part of system, what I use for my clients. So the main components here will be like profile, content, and engagement. It's really simple and really practical to apply. So let's start from why LinkedIn is worth your time. There is over 1 billion professionals worldwide who are active and on LinkedIn. They are decision makers who use LinkedIn daily. And here on LinkedIn, you can really build your credibility, visibility, and trust. You can't be absent on LinkedIn if you have your own business, because here where you can make like really good connections, which one can turn into the business. And I can tell like LinkedIn is not just only digital resume anymore. Here we are coming to build and make a business. So as I already mentioned, the formula is really simple. Optimize your profile, share the content, which one connects, and engage like a human. These three pieces build into each other. You can't post without a clear profile, and you can't grow without engagement. It all works together. So first of all, about your profile and your presence. Your profile is like a landing page. People spend, I would say, less than a minute, maybe just 30 seconds before they decide or your profile looks professional, or they want to connect, or they want to do business with you. So when you go to your profile, just take a look. Or it really represents yourself, or the headshot is professional, what my headline is saying about me, and write like simple, about section, which one would help you to sell yourself, basically. You can also optimize your profile, adding like media, presentations, PDFs, newsletters, all that social proof, what you want to show about your company, you can have it on your personal profile. Also, I would remind you to not forget about the company page. You can create this page like in 5 minutes, right? You just need to create banner, logo, and a tagline. It's for free. And nowadays, sometimes people are not even going out from LinkedIn to check on your company website. So if you're just starter, you can just have your profile and company page on LinkedIn, and it will be totally enough to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stop in here for a second because I think
Okay.
you bring up a good point. So we've got the profile, and we need to obviously make sure. So these two different types of profiles that we can make, right? The company and the individual. I personally always go to the company page on LinkedIn to see if it's like a legitimate company, right? Because, you can see how many, I always like to check how many employees do they have, does it seem like, the information has been built out, things like that. But how important do you think it is, Gabby, to be creating separate content for the business page or for the CEO page? And in what we were talking about before we started the session was saying, and this comes up a lot, there's a lot of CEOs, like we understand that LinkedIn works better with a human profile, right? Have you ever come to a situation where there's like some CEOs that they want to grow on LinkedIn, but they're like shy to be doing the content from their own profile? So how have you dealt with that in the past, or what are some advice that you have?
So first of all, everyone who is not posting on LinkedIn is shy to start. They are afraid to fail. They are afraid to make mistakes, look stupid, like not represent them brand well, right? Mm-hmm. But it's here you also can decide on the content, what you want exactly to communicate. Later on, I will go through the content, what I recommend, but basically we have like 4-1-1 system, which one helps, to understand how easy you can communicate with your clients and the audience, what you're targeting. And if we're talking about the company page post and your personal post, I think the best is to work together. So let's say you don't have much time. I would say once per week, share on your company page the post, which one could be a bit salish, but not so hard, right? You can represent your company's achievements. You can tell about new products. Like it's more salish, but at the same time, it helps you to do that transaction because you still want to make sales here, right? So you can do the post from your personal profile, more telling your story, who you are, what you do, like what is your story, what you want to communicate, to your clients, targeting your clients. Show yourself as professional. And company page, you can share like your post, right? Your personal post on the company page. And the same way from the company page, you can share on your personal. So I think the best is like, let's say you're posting twice. Once you're posting from the company page, so they together will look more organic and you will have different style of posts. You wouldn't look too salish and you will look good and you will connect with your audience way better than you would do like just from company page or just from personal page. It also depends what you're selling and what is your product. I would say it's really, I can't say that one system gonna work for everyone because it will not. We need to take a look, what is your product, what is your audience, and that's how we're gonna understand what is working and what could work and what not for you and your client. Okay, so let's move forward. So another thing when you are optimizing your profile is really important to align personal and company branding. It's really nice and it looks like it's represent your company, but at the same time, it's still about you and what you do. Sometimes people are making huge mistake turning personal page to companies or not creating the company's page. So I would say do both, and that's the best way to do things.
And ideally, just at that last slide, ideally for your teams, guys. So, if you have your sales force, like anyone working your sales, anyone working in CS, like if they're employees and they're customer facing, creating like that background image, like the cover image that they use is really, really powerful. So everyone is aligned and everyone, everything like the brand is very consistent. Because if anyone that you have in your company is going to be utilizing LinkedIn, this is really important for sales folks, but even account managers and customer service folks, having their profile be branded as the company is really, really useful.
Yeah, it helps with visibility, and also adding, your current experience in that company helps to land more people through traffic to your page. So I already a bit mentioned about the content. So when we're talking about the content, isn't about sounding really polished, isn't about being clear and consistent. Different formats, you can share insights, you can share quick tips, storytellings, carousels and visuals. It really helps to represent, and it helps you to communicate what you want to say to your client. I would say using 411 rule, it really helps because you don't want to sound too much salish, too much promotional. So it's better to do like 4 posts, which one would be more focused on educational, 1 it's company insights, and 1 promotional content only. That rhythm helps you things to sound like more balanced, and you don't need to post daily. It's enough 2-3 times per week, but everything needs to be really strategic. Like I said, you can vary it between company and your personal page, and use another sources.
Yeah, I think the 411 rule is really great because I think a lot of folks either forget altogether to do anything that's a little bit more promotional and sales driven. But some folks just only do those promotions and they don't do the educational posts, which is really adding value, teaching. Because what we really want to do on these platforms is like, we want your company to be the experts and leader in the space that you're in. And it's so useful. So I'm not sure if you both are doing it now, but it's like educational posts. It's like understanding news, like what's going on in the economy, understand what's going on with laws as it relates to your business. These sort of educational posts that can pick up on current events, those things perform really, really well. But then also, Michael, for example, like being able to do posts that are giving opinions on perhaps like different materials that are used, and they could be your partners that you promote, but you don't have to say that it's partners, but you could say, we like this, that, or the other. Like having opinions on things as it relates to your industry is also really performs really well. And those are adding value. Those are considered educational. Gabby, can you give us some example of what are like some company related posts that would do really well?
I would say people really likes numbers. If you have statistic what is happening this year in your niche, in your field, it's really good to use the numbers.
Yeah.
People love to see, what is going right now, and if it's numbers based, they love it. Usually this content really well performs, and together go with some strong infographic visuals. And I think that's the best performing, like even this year with new algorithm.
Yeah, that's good. Numbers. Yeah, people love.
So, and the last part, which one is really, really important. And I would say most of my clients fall short is engagement. Comments matters actually more than likes. The real conversations builds the circles of trust. So that's how algorithm decides who gonna see your post with the time, and tells the clients that you are active on LinkedIn. So it's not an extra. I would say it's the part of the system which one must be in your LinkedIn.
And do you recommend this? So if you're saying, listen, you don't have to post every single day, do you think that engagement should be every single day?
I would say yes, at least Monday to Friday would be like, it's not taking so much time like to write a post, right? To write smart posts could take like 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
But to do engagement, like let's say with 10, 20 posts could take you maximum 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's most likely gonna give you more results in comparison with posting. If you're gonna engage with the right audience, with the right people, with people, who might come to you afterwards and could be your leads, right? So I think that is more worth spending time on in comparison. Like if you are considering, or I should be posting, let's say 5 times per week, or I should be engaging 5 times per week, I would say engaging and less posting.
And I have to back up Gabby on this. This is the one thing that I rarely see people do. So the people that have grown, let's say on other platforms like Instagram, right? If you ever come across a company that has 500,000 people on Instagram and you really talked about how they got there, they'll tell you like these back end operational things that go on, that's where all the magic happens. And no one, very few people allocate time to do this. And it is where not only affects the growth of your following, but that's where actual leads are created. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gabby, because I know that I've heard some things about this recently. So other social platforms are interest based. So if you like cars and you like to look at content of cars, the algorithm's going to keep like giving you content of cars, right? Like if that's what you're searching. And it's not about who you follow, it's about what your interests are. But I heard that LinkedIn is more based on like engagement. So what I tend to see in my own account is like the people that comment and engage in my post, it's like always the same people, because the people that are engaging are the ones that are seeing the post over and over again. So that's why we tend to see the same people liking and commenting. So in this sense, our job in the department, and if we really want to utilize LinkedIn, is to be engaging with a wide kind of group of people that if you engage with them, hopefully they'll engage with you, and then your stuff will be spread more. Is that correct?
It is. So yes, your algorithm really depends here on your likes over our post and commenting. And you're gonna notice all the time when you open LinkedIn, you're gonna see right away the same people, the same post, not the same post, the new post of the same people, because you already engage with them content. So you kind of get stuck with the same circles. So for example, when I work with the clients, we usually do this strategy to update our engagement list, like at least once per month, because otherwise, like you said, you're gonna stuck with the same people. And you're gonna notice with the time that it's not giving the same results, like after a month or two engaging with the same people. So it's always good to engage with the new people, with your target audience. It's nice to have these people, who are helping you to reach more, but at the same time, I would say don't limit in with the same circle, because you want still grow. So if you want to grow, you need to reach more.
That's such a good point. The other thing is, and this is like a secret that not a lot of people talk about. These are the unfair advantages. Like people just grow very, very big accounts on social media, and not a lot of people tell you the things, the tricks, and the tips that they did to get there. So on LinkedIn, I know a lot of people that have incredible followings, but they grew a lot through these engagement pods, right? So it's kind of a pod would be, right? And this is like, it's not illegal, but it's something that it really works, but people, they don't talk about it. It's like a dirty secret. But you get engagement pods. So you get maybe 5 or 10 accounts, and you guys all come together and you say, okay, we're going to be part of the pod. So whenever we post something, we're going to promise each other that we're going to like and comment and share each other's posts to actually like stimulate that engagement. A lot of people do that. And unfortunately, it's like because a lot of people are doing that, for those of us that are not doing that, we're kind of at a disadvantage. So what Gabby mentioned is like, okay, every month or two to kind of change who you're engaging with. That could mean, okay, once a quarter, maybe you establish maybe an engagement pod just to help boost that content. And you can create those pods with people that fit with your ideal client, right? People that are kind of in the same world as you. Did you have any opinions on engagement pods, Gabby?
So I can break this myth already
Yeah.
because this engagement pod used to work, and people build huge audience using this artificial engagement bots.
Yeah.
However, LinkedIn changed algorithm,
Uh,
and from this year, actually from Miss May, these things are not even, it's not working anymore. And even you're getting punished for doing that.
okay, so erase what I just said.
So basically, they integrated AI to detect, the people who are doing this artificial comment exchange between each others, because it's really easy to understand the same paths, and the circle of the people are the same. So they just go to each other and comment right after they publish the post.
Yeah.
It used to work, but now with new algorithm, you even get punished for doing this, and your outreach reduced dramatically. So the people who used to have like 200, 300 comments over them posts, right? Nowadays, even if they're doing this, they are not getting enough outreach, and they are not getting enough engagement anymore, and impressions are super down. So it's not working. I would never recommend to do this.
Okay.
It's good to connect with the people. It's good to connect with the people in your niche, because it helps you to reach more people. It's like kind of exchanging, you're following them, you're liking them content. It's in your niche, let's say, or it's like what your target audience are looking for. So it's way better to do one-to-one instead of connecting group together and doing artificial thing.
Okay.
So it's always better to do things naturally. The same as with outreach and engagement. It's like,
Yeah. And this is another good point to segue into is how we need to be careful with automating scheduling posts. There's going to be a lot of like AI and software that can help with engagement and stuff like that. From what I know from you, Gabby, is that LinkedIn really dislikes these kind of automations, and we have to be careful.
yes, there is tools what you can use, and there is tools what I suggest to not use. So like AI generated comments, it's okay, but everyone nowadays understands, how sounds AI, right? And which comment is like fake because person is just doing automatic clicks, like one click and comment is there. So
Yeah.
I would say it's better to do less, but with quality. So it's better you spend like 20, 30 minutes writing authentic comment instead of sending out 100 or 200 comments, which one are generated with AI.
The last thing I want to say about the engagement is erasing what I said before about the pods, but keeping the same concept where maybe once a month or once a quarter, you refresh a list that you're going to engage with. And the list, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gabby, but I think it's a good to have a mix of your ideal client, but also maybe some competitors, because if you're not competitors, but maybe people in your same space, because the folks that are following them are, people who you share the same ideal client with. And also to interact with like some thought leaders in your space. So having kind of
Exactly.
the mix and then refreshing that list every month or every couple months. So you have like different circles that you're engaging with.
So I would say when you're thinking about your engagement list, you should include the big creators.
Mm,
Could be from your niche, could be, you can also think about your client. Okay, who is my client? What he likes?
yeah,
What he's like, you not necessarily need to target the same with the other peoples who are doing the same things what you do.
yeah,
You can just focus, what my clients like, what circle they're connected together, right?
yeah,
What they're doing. So I think that would be way better, to approach these type of the people. And so half of the list, I would say, engage with the big creators because it's gonna help you to be more visible. It's gonna help you to reach higher audience. Sometimes it might be if you write the smart comment, they're gonna come to see who you are and what you do, right? So that's why you shouldn't use AI to write the comments. It's better to do with quality, less but better.
yeah. Okay, I love that. So I think we've hammered that home. Engagement is very important. And if you're paying someone to do social media, and I see this a lot. So someone's a social media manager. Typically, they're just creating the posts and scheduling them. I don't see a lot of people that are social media managers even thinking about this engagement part. So it's our jobs, if we have someone on our team that's managing the social, that we make sure that they're engaging and that we put specific KPIs attached to how many comments they need to be doing each day, how they pull the list of people to comment on, because it's almost like not even worth it to be on the platform if you're not going to actually be social on the platform. Like if you're not going to engage at all. Like, because you're just not going to get anything out of the platform. If you're just posting and doing anything, yeah, okay, you're showing people that you exist, but that's really the bare minimum, right? We're in social to build community, build network, and that more than ever is going to become just more and more important in the future with AI that's commoditizing so much. Our brands and the communities that we build that's the one thing that it's going to be very hard for AI to replace that, right?
I would say yes,
Yeah.
but it's hard to say, right?
I know, I know.
How AI
That's
gonna
also
look
very
in a few
true.
years, so
Yeah.
it might be that we're gonna have pretty good systems soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's move forward. So, a quick note that some boundaries matters. Always share the content that you are proud and stand behind, right? Keep it educational. Uh, get agreement of your clients to share them stories and stay away from confidential and political topics.
Mm.
It's better to be known for clarity than for noise. There is also advanced tactics here. Once the basics are really consistent, when you are posting, engaging, you have optimized profile, you can layer in more advanced tactics. Things like leader ads you can use from your profile to promote posts which one you are liking, and you can see traffic going on. So you can do sponsored content. It's not expensive in comparison with other social media, and it could bring pretty good leads from there. And LinkedIn also has lead generation forms built in, which can capture, interest of the leads already, and you can reach out and build the system from there.
Okay, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna use it because I've utilized this quite a bit in the past, the lead capture forms. So there's lead capture forms that are native to LinkedIn. So one of the big problems that we have as marketers, right, is that with these social platforms, typically the algorithm, everything is to keep you addicted on the platform. These companies make it very difficult for users to leave the page. Like, that's why there's only one links on the profile pages. It's often not easy to jump. Actually, LinkedIn, if you click a link, it brings you to another page, which is like, you're leaving LinkedIn. Are you sure you want to leave it? It's like all this friction they put in. So with that said, if you run ads on LinkedIn, or probably you can do it even without running ads, they have native forms. So with one click, a lead capture form comes up right in LinkedIn. So the person doesn't even have to leave the platform. They put in their email address, they put in whatever, and then they can get the lead magnet, they can get the resource directly to their inbox, but they never have to leave LinkedIn. So if you guys didn't have experience in that, I would say, like, it's just interesting to know that exists, because it is a good feature of LinkedIn, because again, they don't want you to leave that platform as a user, but you really want to get people's contact information. So this is a pretty good, it's a pretty good solution. Do you know, Gabby, if you can do the lead gen forms without running ads?
It's connected, like you should. Yeah, otherwise it's not going through.
Yeah. But ads I believe you can run very affordably on LinkedIn, because they could be so targeted and so niche. Like, you could run ads to just the people that like checked out your profile, right? So it's like, hey, you're running an ad to, like, let's say 50 or 100 people. Yeah, it's not hundreds of thousands of people, but it doesn't matter. You're actually just running ads to people that are further along in it, or warmer, right? Further along in the buying process. So there's a lot of options for how you can run ads very cost efficiently in LinkedIn.
Yeah, the new option of the going from your personal profile, it's like $10 per day. And you can set up the audience, what you're targeting, positions, roles, like everything is like really specific. And you also get statistic. For example, if you're including the link and you set the target is to website clicks, you're gonna see how much costs you per click and how much leads it's brought to you. So I would say it's worth to test out. And the key here also is like to test, to track, to see analytics, what results is bringing, and double on what it works, right? And here I have like really short grow roadmap. So basically, first of all, optimize your profile, create a content strategy, track results, stay consistent, scale with ads, and eventually launch ambassadors and extend your brand. Don't try to do all at once. Layer step by steps, and the system gonna build momentum.
Okay, I have one more, like, more specific questions. And I think, like, if you're choosing LinkedIn as one of your growth platforms, and listen, this applies for all of the platforms for social, you have to stay on top of the algorithms. That's why, as marketers, we recommend, like, doing one social platform well rather than trying to be on all of them, right? So I know, like, some of you here are utilizing TikTok, the same principle, right? But if you're looking at LinkedIn, be aware So follow people like Gabby, like follow her on LinkedIn. She's always giving really great insights and tips on what's working and what's not working, because those things will change. But my question is, and a lot of people don't know this, what are some of the things that LinkedIn will penalize you for posting? So, for example, like I've heard various things about where to include links. I heard that it's better to put a link in a comment or not to put a link in the post because they don't like that. So what are some of the rules as you see today of like do's and don'ts of what your post should how it should be formatted?
So first of all, I would say don't use links at all. Like LinkedIn doesn't want that you would bring people outside of LinkedIn. However, there is some ways how you can capture leads without like redirecting to your website. For example, now it's really, really common to do newsletters. So it's one click and you can all the time promote your newsletter. And it's easy. It's not salish also. It helps you to not look like you want to sell something straight away, right? You can capture the leads and later I'll reach out through newsletters.
And when you say newsletter, do you mean your own newsletter or do you mean creating a newsletter on LinkedIn? Because that also exists.
So the best would be to connect together, right? Yours together with LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
I would say create small introduction newsletter to LinkedIn and
Okay.
later use these leads, to your own like monthly newsletter or
Yeah.
others. What do you do usually with the leads?
Yeah. And I have heard people, I haven't done it personally, but I've heard people that utilize the LinkedIn newsletter, and it really, because you have to think for these platforms, like you have to think from the psychology of the business. And like LinkedIn likes when you use their native features. So if you create a LinkedIn newsletter, it's like LinkedIn's kind of gonna maybe give you a better algorithm standing, because they're like, okay, this person's paying for Sales Navigator, or this person's running ads on our platform. This person's utilizing our LinkedIn Lives. Like all of these things shows LinkedIn like, hey, you're investing in our platform, so we'll help you out, kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying link to a newsletter you can add. So you can add a link to your native LinkedIn newsletter, and then once they're on that newsletter, you can be promoting other lead magnets and other information to get them onto your list. Okay.
Yes. Another thing what I'm not mentioning here in the presentation, but it's really important and really works, is to do webinars on LinkedIn.
That's interesting.
Webinars still works and a lot of people are selling a lot using webinars. And webinars also can help you, like it's huge work to prepare for them, right? You can imagine you need to have the system the first time, gonna take you a lot of time and a lot of energy. However, from that webinar, you can have the content for a month, right? And so it's a lot of work, it's a lot of preparation, but if you're gonna get some sales done and later you will have the content for a month, I think it's really worth.
Interesting. And it probably would be a good system like running ads on LinkedIn to the webinar on LinkedIn. Everything's native there, so it kind of stays like a closed circuit.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So just last but not least, if you do want to share a link, would you recommend this kind of trick I see people doing, which is describing what a resource might be and then saying, oh, DM the word blank to me, and then you start the conversation on LinkedIn, or put this word in the comment and then you pass a link to someone in the comments? Would that be a good strategy still?
I would say the best call action if you are doing sales is DM me for more information.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after you can talk the way you want, you can show your website. Like from DMs, the conversations really start. Instead of using the links like in comment sections. In comment sections is not so bad, but still it's better, I think, to use DM. It's also looks less sales.
Mm.
And
the other thing I also heard is that if you're opening up conversations on DM, actually the algorithm also likes that. So the algorithm, if you're having actual conversations and sharing messages with people, like the algorithm is still picking up on that. And that's also something that it likes, because it's showing the algorithm that you're building real connections because you're having conversations with people outside of the comments. So these are all the things that help to make you have a good standing on LinkedIn.
yeah, you're being active, and of course you're getting rewarded from LinkedIn, like with more impressions, showing up more your post.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. So wrapping up, LinkedIn isn't about posting more. It's about showing up with the clarity and intention. And that's how you're gonna build your trust, and it's gonna turn to results. So
Amazing.
thank you for all of you guys joining me today. And I'm really excited. If you have any questions for me, please.
Yeah, do you guys have any questions or any ideas about some LinkedIn strategy you want to create or try?
I want to know, like you said at the beginning, that you reach out to Victoria with a very interesting way. How do you reach out to Victoria? What is your DM to contact a company?
So when I had this wish to grow a bit on LinkedIn, because when I started, I was working with the clients who were like recommending my services to others, but I was like, okay, I'm doing LinkedIn for hours. Maybe it's time for me to show myself. So I started posting, and I know what is working and what I need to do. So these three components, what I mentioned today, is the like really the basics, which one builds the trust, shows you to others. But there is an extra step, like when you want to do the sales, is to do outreach. So for outreach, I recommend like to focus on your target audience. There is like sales navigator tool who can help you, to reach the specific people what you are targeting, and also send them introduction message, tell who you are, what you do, and if they're interesting, they can always reach out to you, and you're gonna introduce your services right, and later on you hop on the call, and that's how you introduce yourself. And yeah.
No, and so I think like what's interesting is Gabby's saying her system is very simple. She literally sent me a message to introduce herself, explain what she did, and that's all. She wasn't pushy. I get dozens of messages, cold emails and DMs, I'm sure you all do, of people that are sending their meeting links. Let's set up a meeting. I don't want to set up a meeting with you. Gabby literally just introduced herself, said what she did. What did I do next? I looked at her profile. Her profile was so professional, so well done, so clear. And then the third piece was I looked at how well all of her content was performing. And I said, okay, this is a woman that really knows what she's doing. She's saying that that her agency handles LinkedIn growth, and she clearly has incredible results, not only from the recommendations that she got, but also from the result, like that her posts perform really well. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. She's saying it's like all of these pieces of the puzzle. We have to think about how people buy. And too often there's people that are blasting these sales messages, these are the results I can get for you. Let's get on a call. And then just saying, hey, when are you going to get a call? And just pushing. And that, in my opinion, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work for me, who was her ideal client at the time. And I'm sure many other people feel the same. So it's not about being really salesy. It's about building those connections. And there's so many people that I do meet saying that they're going to do LinkedIn growth services, for example, and then I go to their profiles and their posts are terrible. their profile is awful, right? So you have to actually like walk the walk. You know what I mean? And
What is a terrible profile? What varies inside? And so
like,
how can we reach out to a company? What is the best way? What is saying, hello, I'm the founder of Flux and this is what we do. And what should I be careful to don't post on LinkedIn to don't have a terrible.
no, well, I mean, the profile, like, I mean, this presentation you're going to have access to, but I mean, all of the things Gabby said to do to that we saw about your profile, right? Your cover, your headline, the about. I think if I were to say what is the one word Gabby kept saying over and over again in this presentation, clarity and intention. Clarity. That's where people go wrong, in my opinion. What else do you think, Gabby?
I think, first of all, you need to focus on the client. Who is your client? And imagine how many messages he's getting per day and how you can stand out, in front of all of them.
Yeah.
So if a lot of people are so pushy, so salish, you don't want to be one of them. You need to show up as the niche professional, right? To tell, like, look, I have this service or I have this product. If you might be interesting, just let me know. And that's it. I would say, like, be really simple, be like a human, and do your homework also.
Yeah.
Take a look in the profile. Do not reach out to companies. It's better to connect with the real people, the real decision makers, right? In the LinkedIn. You don't want to get lost in the messages because usually the company's accounts, they're administrating like marketing team, and they are not going to respond to your messages, most likely. So connect with the right people and think what you can say them to stand out.
Mm-hmm. And follow up consistently, because this happens to me very often where it's not just about what the message is, it's about the message hitting them at the right time. And unless someone comes back to you and is angry and is like, never talk to me again, if you follow up consistently, let's say you send one or two messages to someone, they don't reply, that then a couple months later or a couple weeks later, you check in again and you just have that consistent exposure and you can add value. So again, it's about being really intentional, niche targeted. So let's anyway, I want to open up to, we have a couple more minutes. Any questions more? And then I have one more thing I want to just chat about before we wrap up. Do you have any other questions? No? Okay. I wanted you, Gabby, to give the group here an idea of if they have a marketing manager that's handling social media, right? That's handling their LinkedIn. What does it look like day to day? Like how much time should that person be allocating? Like how many actions do they need to be doing per day to really be building a good foundation on LinkedIn?
Do you want answer in timeline or just what steps they need to take?
Let's say in timeline. Let's say we're building a job description for someone that's going to manage the LinkedIn. And let's say they're going to post, they're going to engage. But I don't know, should they be spending 5 hours on LinkedIn? Should they be spending, 1 hour, 30 minutes a day? Like, what is a reasonable amount of time you think to build a good foundation, especially when it comes to engagement and being social?
For engagement part, I would say daily you need like at least 30 minutes.
Okay.
Going without rush through the post on your feed, to the list, which one you built. Of course, if it's bigger list, it might take 1 hour, right, to engage with all people what you want to engage with.
Yeah.
If you're sending the messagings, doing outreach, it would be another hour probably for doing this step.
Yeah.
And writing LinkedIn content, I would say you can do in batches. You can prepare for a week or even month of the content. The best, like if you want to keep your own voice, sometimes you're afraid, to give to someone to write the post for you because it might not represent who you are. there is a lot of tools what you can use. For example, you can have meeting recorded and after just use the script with AI and make pretty decent posts go through, just to check, make sure that visuals align together. So I would say this preparation work, it might be another 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So if I hear it clear, it's like, okay, we've got a person that we're having handle this, 1 hour a month, more or less, they're going to be creating the post and content. Then we would say 30 minutes a day, they go through their targeted list of people that they want to engage with that are going to make sense for their ideal client or industry leaders. And we're making comments for like 30 minutes. And then let's say if you're doing an active outreach campaign, meaning you're trying to start conversations with prospects, that's maybe another hour a day. So if you're doing an active approach, because one thing this isn't really about sales on LinkedIn, but you touched on it. So if you're doing an outbound sales program, you're going to find people to connect with. You're going to connect with them. If they accept, then you write them a message. So that, allocating another hour a day. So let's say an hour and a half a daily work for this person Monday through Friday, and then an extra hour or so a month to create the content and any visuals. Does that sound right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Of course, if they don't have enough experience, it could take longer, right, to start. It might be 2 hours at the begin. But like if you have full-time social media manager, for sure you can allocate some time to spend on LinkedIn.
On all this stuff, exactly. Well, Gabby,
and be patient. I think I want to add this. Be patient. You're not gonna get results in the first month. You need to have at least 3 months of like consistent work to see real results.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Okay, any last questions, guys, before we wrap up?
No, but thank you. It was so interesting.
Yeah, and be sure to follow Gabby, connect with Gabby on LinkedIn. Again, she's always sharing really great stuff. Here is her LinkedIn, her email, if you ever want to reach out to her one-to-one. But she's just the real deal. You can see her content. It's great. And she's really knowledgeable. So thank you, Gabby. It was so great to see you. And
thank you.
And I hope to see you on LinkedIn.
You did it. You made it to the end of the episode. Thanks for sticking around with me and listening all the way to the end. I really appreciate you as an audience member, and I hope that you found this helpful. If you did like this episode, it would mean so much to me if you subscribed, if you rate and review this podcast. It helps other people know that this podcast has something worth saying. It also would be super awesome if you could take a screenshot and share on Instagram and tag me at Ugly Ventures, UGLI Ventures, VENTURES. I am always so appreciative to hear from you, and I hope to see you back here next week